So Mortal Kombat 11 Aftermath is finally here. It's been with us for a couple of days now, and you guys would know that it comes with a brand new story expansion that takes place directly where Mortal Kombat 11 ended. So I did an entire playthrough of this story mode here on this channel. I did an entire live stream, and we all experienced it together right at lunch, right in the morning where it came out for me. And if you guys were there, if you guys watched it on playback, you would know that I really did like this story mode. I really did have a good time with this story mode. However, there were things that I didn't like about the story, but overall I liked it because there was a lot of things that I liked, and the things that I liked overshadowed what I didn't like, but the things that I didn't like really did bother me. Like, it was really tainting my enjoyment of the story, and we're going to be talking about both the things that I did like and both the things that I didn't like in a little bit more in depth in this review, because that's what it is, a story mode review of Mortal Kombat 11 Aftermath. Be forewarned guys, there will be spoilers about Mortal Kombat 11 Aftermath, so if you have not seen the story mode, do not watch this video because you will be spoiled. There's going to be a lot of spoilers in this video. And also, if you guys are enjoying my Aftermath content that I've been putting on the channel, make sure you drop a big thumbs up on this video, as it would really help out my channel, and I would really appreciate it. First things first, the person that steals the show, the character that steals the show in this entire story mode is Carrie Tagawa as Tsung. He was done so freaking perfectly. He was just a blast to watch. He was just such a blast to watch, and so much fun to watch, that made this story mode a very enjoyable experience for me. You can just tell that the writers really made sure that they made the most out of the opportunity that they had to use Carrie Tagawa as Shang Tsung. You can tell that they really made sure that they got this character right, and they did. One of my main disappointments with the base Mortal Kombat 11 story, overall I liked it, but one of my disappointments was that Carrie Tagawa Shang Tsung didn't play a role in that story mode, because he was just a DLC character, and he had a story that really didn't affect the main story, and I said, man, I mean, like, you have Carrie Tagawa, how can you not put him in the story mode? How can you not have him play a major role? Well, now, that disappointment is completely taken out the window, because I got exactly what I wanted. He played a big, important, really good role, and he was done perfectly well. Carrie Tagawa's performance was just so damn good as well as Shang Tsung. Like, he has not lost the spirit of Shang Tsung that he had in the 1995 Mortal Kombat movie. He nailed it in this Aftermath story. In fact, imagine the greatness that is Carrie Tagawa's performance and characterization in the 1995 Mortal Kombat movie, and amplify it by 10, because that is exactly what you get with Mortal Kombat 11 Aftermath, and I am just so thankful that we got to see Carrie Tagawa play Shang Tsung again in basically another Mortal Kombat movie. That's basically what we got here. I'm very thankful for it. Definitely a moment to be treasured, as if it were my last. The next character that I really liked was Fujin. Yes guys, Fujin, after years and years of waiting, we finally got Fujin to return in another Mortal Kombat game, and he was done in this story mode extremely, and in this game overall, extremely well. I know we asked for him in MKX, but the more I think about it, the more I think, well, I'm kind of glad we didn't get him in MKX, because if we got him in MKX, we wouldn't have got what we got now, because usually DLC characters don't really return in the next game. If there was any game that would be good for Fujin to return, to be good for his character, it's this game 100%, and I'm really happy that Fujin got a really good representation of what his character is all about in this game. I really like how we got to see a rematch between Fujin and Bi-Han, where Bi-Han is now Noob Saibot, and we got a cutscene of them interacting with each other, and when they interact, they reference mythologies. I thought that was super freaking awesome. It would have been a wasted opportunity to not do that. Now that they did do that, I was like, yes, thank you. We got a cutscene of them two interacting with each other. When I first saw that scene for the first time, I was fanboying. You guys know, because I was live streaming it. I was just fanboying. I was like, yes, a cutscene between the two, and they reference mythologies. Yes, that's what I wanted. That's what I wanted. Thank you. I also really like the fact that we we finally got a cutscene of Fujin versus Dark Raiden. I have always said, you guys know this, I have always said, you cannot do a Dark Raiden story without Fujin being there to tell him, hey, you can't do this. This isn't the way. This isn't you, brother. And we do finally get it in Mortal Kombat 11 Aftermath. I know it's a cutscene, it's not too much, and it's not an entire story based around that. With what the writers were working with, what they could do, I understand that they couldn't do an entire story around it, so I'm very, very satisfied that we got a cutscene of that happening, because if it didn't happen, it would have been a big wasted opportunity. So I'm glad that we did get at least a cutscene that was done really, really well. But my favorite scene in Aftermath was when Fujin was talking to Jax, and he was explaining to Jax that he understands mortals, and he was explaining that what strengthens us is our feeling, our sentiment, and we fight to protect the things that we care about, the things that we love, and when we fall or when they fall, it hurts him too. Like, he understands the pain. And I was like, oh my god, that is so damn good. Like, yes, keep being a badass, Fujin. Thank you. I know that the writers really made sure that when Fujin returns, because we've all been asking for him and we've been waiting such a long time, when he returns, it's a triumphant return. And this scene alone just proves that this was a very, very triumphant return for Fujin. I don't think there's any situation where you can come out of this story, any new fan or any hater of the 3D era characters who don't like Fujin for no reason, there's no possible way you can look at this story, you can watch this story and not like Fujin. Like, Fujin just came out of this story being a top tier character for sure, S tier character for sure. This is why I like Fujin, and they just made him very, very, very good. Those characters were definitely standouts, but overall, the first 3 chapters were really, really, really good. Nightwolf was good, Shiva was good. There was a little bit of emotional side that we saw with Shiva when she saw Sindel's dead body in the coffin. Like, her facial expression when she sees it, I was like, oh damn. That's pretty good. Like, we never really saw that kind of side with Shiva. And overall, just the fact that we got like a Fujin, Nightwolf, and Shang Tsung team up, that's not something you would really think, but they made it so good. Like, them teaming up, them combining their special moves and kicking ass, and them interacting. Overall, that was just such a great thing to see, such a great thing to have in the Mortal Kombat lore, and I really, really liked all the scenes with them 3 and pretty much everything in the first 3 chapters. But now, let's talk about the things that I don't like about Mortal Kombat 11 Aftermath story, and I feel like you guys already know what I'm going to talk about because it's very expected, it's what everyone's talking about. Yes, it is the Sindel character, it is the Sindel retcon, it is the Sindel chapter, whatever, Sindel. You guys already know I do not like this version of Sindel at all. You guys know that I really don't like it. I've already made a video talking about why this version of Sindel is very damaging to her character. And if you guys want to check out that video, you can go ahead and check the YouTube cards up on the top right, I believe. Look, I'm kind of over the Sindel retcon at this point. Now, I'm not defending it, don't worry. I'm not defending the retcon. It's just that I was not surprised, right? It's what I expected out of this story. Like, I expected this to be the Sindel that we got in the story because this story was made, I believe, a year ago, so before they even knew about any of the controversy. So it's not really fair to get on NetherRealm for something that they kind of released at a bad time. It was just bad timing, bad place, bad time, whatever, that kind of phrase. That's what it was. So I'm not going to get on NetherRealm for that. It just sucks that we finally got a scene where Kitana and Sindel see each other after Sindel came back from the dead, and Kitana questions, why did you leave me? I want to be happy. Like, I feel happy, but at the same time I feel like I shouldn't be, because why did you leave me? Why did you leave me with that horrible father, Shao Kahn? Why did you leave me alone with him? Where were you all this time? Like, that was such a good scene, and then it was ruined when Sindel was like, nah, bro, that was Quan Chi. That was Quan Chi, bro. Like, oh my god, man, come on. Like, imagine if we got that scene with the original timeline Sindel story. So let me remind you what that story is. Sindel killed herself because she didn't want to commit to a life of subservience when her realm was conquered by Shao Kahn, and when Shao Kahn killed her husband and was forced to marry him and was forced to have Shao Kahn adopt her daughter. That is a very tragic story. So imagine if we got that story and we got the scene that we got in MK11 where Kitana says, "Why did you leave me? Where were you all this time? Why did you kill yourself? Why did you leave me with Shao Kahn?" What would have Sindel said right there? Like, think about that. That would have made for a very interesting character moment. A very, very rich character moment, too. And we're never gonna have it. It's not there. Like, as a Mortal Kombat fan, as somebody who really is invested in the lore, it breaks my heart. It breaks my heart really very, very, very much. Look, again, I'm not... it didn't ruin the story for me, but it did taint my enjoyment because, again, I said the first 3 chapters, I was like, oh my god, this is kicking ass. Like, these characters, this story is kicking ass. And then the Sindel chapter comes, and I'm like, oh, man. I can't have the perfect thing, can I? You know, it's just, again, breaks my heart as a Mortal Kombat fan. I continue to believe that the reason why they changed Sindel's story is because in the original timeline, Shao Kahn forced Sindel to marry him, and they did spend a little bit of time together before she killed herself. And right there is implied rape. And I feel like the writers didn't want to deal with being canceled by a whole bunch of teenagers on Twitter. Look, I understand that, but all you could have done was just say that Sindel killed herself as soon as Shao Kahn conquered her realm and killed her husband. Right then and there, she killed herself. That's all you had to do. And you didn't have to deal with being canceled, the possibility of being canceled. Even then, that would have been very, very stupid. So again, it didn't ruin the story for me, but it did taint my enjoyment of the story just a little bit. On a brighter note, though, I did like having the option to switch to Shao Kahn in that same chapter because, oh my god, was Shao Kahn a real threat and a real scary villain in this story mode. Like, I really liked how we finally got to have a villain chapter in a NetherRealm game story mode. So, the reason why I say he's a very, very big threat is because you have to fight against the heroes and you beat the heroes like Johnny Cage, Cassie Cage, Liu Kang, Kitana, Kung Lao. You fight all of them and you beat all of them. And you, the player, are left to feel like, oh my god, should I even be beating these people? Like, I don't want to beat these people. I don't want to see these people die at my hands. I like how they play with your emotions there. I get how that wouldn't be appealing to some people. I get how that would be a little bit problematic, like it would also taint their enjoyment, but to me, it kind of felt like an interesting experience that we've never experienced in a NetherRealm game before. I really liked having my emotions played with that way. I thought that was very interesting. So the chapter that came after Sindel's chapter was Shang Tsung's chapter, and I really did like Shang Tsung's chapter. I really did like Shang Tsung's ultimate betrayal, which made him ultimately the real end final boss of this game. I thought that was really, really good, and I really like how it ends between Liu Kang and Shang Tsung. Liu Kang versus Shang Tsung. It ends where it began, because where it began was Liu Kang versus Shang Tsung. Where it ends is Liu Kang versus Shang Tsung, and I really, really did like that. And let me talk about the endings, because both of the endings were good. Liu Kang's ending blew my mind. I couldn't believe that we saw the great Kung Lao in cutscenes. I never thought we would ever see that, ever. And the fact that Liu Kang is possibly setting up a timeline to where the great Kung Lao may have never lost a Mortal Kombat tournament, may have never lost to Goro, to me that sounds super, super interesting. And I hope that's the game we get in MK12, because that sounds like a super, super interesting game, and I really want to see that. Shang Tsung's chapter, or Shang Tsung's ending, is basically the generic, you know, bad guy ending, but again, what I said in my story explained, or my ending explained video, I hope what they do there is actually expand on that story, but it's not canon. It's like a what if scenario, because we would get to see Havoc and Hotaru. I want to see those characters. So I hope they do continue that story, but in a non-canon way, like a what-if way. And the actual continuation of the story is in MK12 with Liu Kang's ending. I really, really hope that's the case. And I think that's what they'll do. But again, I really do hope that Shang Tsung's ending goes somewhere as a non-canon way, or a non-canon story, because I do want to see Havoc and Hotaru. The story mode expansion was worth my money, and I really hope to see more story expansions in the future. This is the first time we ever got one. I remember Ed Boon was talking about wanting to do it in MKX. Didn't happen in Injustice 2. We have it in MK11, and I'm really, really happy with what we got. But let me know what you guys thought about Mortal Kombat 11 Aftermath in the comments below. What did you guys like? What did you guys not like? You guys can discuss your thoughts in the comments below, as I just said. So, if you enjoyed this video, make sure you drop a big thumbs up and subscribe for more Mortal Kombat content. Thank you all so much for your support, and I will see you all in the next video.